by Team Green to take care of two things. First, the left front tire on the car. They're a little bit concerned because of the temperatures, and what can happen under hot temperatures is if you don't hit the setup just right, you can either have severe understeer or severe oversteer. They are trying to monitor it because they were searching for the right setup this morning. More importantly, lap after lap, they are telling Jack, be sure to take on fluids. They want to hydrate their driver. So as Parker Johnstone alluded to, in the last quarter of the race, he's fully aware mentally and physically.
So Jacques Villeneuve is the leader before a giant crowd here, many of whom camped overnight here, including Robbie Gordon and a number of the drivers. We'll return after this message. Back at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Michael Andretti may be learning something about the car's operation without the wicker bill. It's completely off the car, but look how he's closed on Jacques Villeneuve. Now here we're at a key area of the course, running downhill to that right-hander, which is the primary passing zone.
Well, of course, what it means, having lost the wicker bill, is the rear of his car is sliding a little bit more, and it may have been just the ticket, because he's closed up from just over a second back to where you see him now, right on Villeneuve's rear end.
Now the wicker bill, just so everybody knows, makes the wing work harder, makes the wing push the car in the back, down to the ground harder. Now, without it, it also makes the straightaway speed a whole lot better. Even though there's a lot of downforce to those wicker bills, the thing that they really gain is the straightaway speed. So that's the reason you saw Michael at the end of the long straightaway run right up behind Villeneuve.
Now, Michael might have qualified better. He qualified third, and he seemed a bit off Villeneuve's time. But I think he had engine problems right at the end of qualifying, and obviously things are running fine now. The team has changed from their Series 2 engine, which had bedeviled them during the season, a lot of reliability problems, to the same Series 1 engine that Villeneuve has. So for the first time in the season, these cars are matched in engine configuration.
Just ahead of Villeneuve is, of course, Matsushita and Salazar, and they're becoming very much a factor in this battle.
And here's that straightaway that Bobby mentioned. This might favor Michael here. This is the longest straightaway on the track, and it's downhill. You really see some mighty speed.
Look at Villeneuve on the right trying to block him. Villeneuve's completely out of the groove on the right trying to block Michael, and he came out, almost shoved him into the grass right there. That was a purposeful thing done. That's something that I don't think Hart should be allowing.
Well, I think the rule is you can make the first move, and that's protecting your position. You make the second move, and it's blocking.
Yeah, you can't.
It was obvious that Michael was up alongside of him coming off the turn, which is exactly what Michael was planning on doing there.
Yeah, but you wonder how it affects Michael. Remember, he was placed on probation after the race at Cleveland. And does that make him hesitate a little bit when he gets in a situation like that?
Yeah, well, Michael's as aggressive a driver as there is. He knows what he's doing. He's been here a long time. The officials putting him on probation, that's not going to bother him.
Well, I agree with Bobby 100%. I mean, when you're in the heat of battle like this, I don't think you think, I'm under probation. You drive as hard as you can, and that's exactly what he's doing.
He'll have something to say to Jacques after the race is over about that one, because...
But Bobby, I disagree with you there. I think it was an okay move under the current kart regulations. Jacques moved over, kept the door shut. It was Michael's move around the outside. Let's see what happens this time, if anything similar.
Not close enough to make the drive, but close enough to help him move in just a little bit, maybe next time around.
Blocking him in the origination, Sam, was not bad. It's that when Michael did say, okay, you got the inside, I'll take the outside, he was there. And then Jacques just pushed him right off the racetrack. If Michael had stayed there, it would have ended up being in an accident.
So they stay together, first and second, separated by barely a half a second, and Michael closes back in, trying to set position. So when they come onto that long straight again, he'll be in a clear position to try and pass.
One thing to remember about Jacques' year, he's only gone out of races 3 times, one of the real low retirement rates, whereas Michael has been out of at least twice that many. He's had a tough season for retirements. He's brought some of them on himself. He's had some mechanical problems. So right now, you know, Jacques is the steady one, so to speak. Michael, the volatile one.
Now onto the long straightaway, but Michael's not anywhere in attack position, Jack Arute.
Well, Paul, we've heard all kinds of strange things so far. A cut tire by a stone, a woodchuck getting run over. Believe it or not now, Jimmy Vasser has a problem with his pop-off valve. He is only getting 43 inches of boost. They have called to CART and asked for an additional pop-off valve. If there's a full course yellow, Tom Anderson and his crew intend to change the pop-off valve. In the interim, just a couple of laps from now, this team will go to work over the wall on the leader, Jacques Villeneuve. They're trying to conserve the left front tire. They intend to make no changes during the stop. Let's check in with Gary Gerould.
Jack, most of those teams are hitting the projected window for pit stops, but Al Unser Jr. 2 laps ago came in a bit early to make a change on tires and fuel in 13.7 seconds. The Newman-Haas team is expecting now Michael Andretti on this next time by. In fact, the crew just now going over the wall with their supplies, and we just checked in with Tommy Wirtz, and he said they will not change what's left of that wicker bill on the rear wing. Apparently, Michael says the car is handling to his satisfaction, so they're not even going to tinker with it.
Makes you wonder if your wicker bill is psychological or not, Bobby.
Well, it certainly does. And, you know, it's a big crunch for a driver. It feels so good you wouldn't believe it. But it's obvious. Michael is going faster without it. That's the reason their decision is such.
Bobby, remember the old rule about movable aerodynamic devices? Maybe this is a trick way to shed...
No, don't open that can of worms.
I apologize.
So Michael Andretti and the rest facing stops here very shortly. And while this battle has gone on, it served to the advantage of Mauricio Guzman, who from time to time now, you see just behind Carlos Guerrero's green car there. He's been able to close in during the last several laps. So the pit stops are coming up. First round of stops next here for the Indy cars. And we'll track how fast these crews work and what good they do for their team. Back at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, I apologize. A great deal has gone on in the past few minutes. First of all, most of the leaders made their stops. Michael came out right behind Jack, and then they began a battle, and Michael was able to get around Jacques Villeneuve. So this battle continues, while at the same time, some cars have not yet stopped, and so the scoring will be out of balance until all cars have made their pit stop. But this is the key right here, Bobby. Here is the pass. Now watch Michael. Look at his set of moves.
Going right on the outside now. Back to the inside. He's faking him. He's letting Villeneuve try to block him, which he did.
But look at that corner that Villeneuve drives.
Villeneuve made it in there. He locked his front brakes up. You can see going as fast. But look at Michael. He's upset now. He's really going to try harder. Now watch him. Just keep watching. Now he's got a run at him coming off the turn. And now he's got him blocked. There's nothing that Villeneuve could do right there. Michael has the lead.
And by the way, that part was not included in our passing zone area of the race course.
Absolutely not. Michael did an extraordinarily good job right there.
That was right out of the pits when they both had full fuel load and new tires, too. So a time when the cars are tough for the drivers to handle because they haven't really bedded in yet, they went to battle stations like that.
Certainly the best pass that we've seen since the race started, right,
That was
Sam?
really good. Also, you could see that Villeneuve just did not want to let a clean pass occur on him. He really fought back hard. Notice now how much ground he's lost. Incredible.
So as Jacques Villeneuve drops back, Gil de Ferran, who picked the race lead up for a lap, made his stop and falls back into the order, and that gives over the lead of the race to Michael Andretti.
Michael obviously came out of the pits a whole lot faster than he went in, because just before he went in, he kind of slacked out. You can see right there, Villeneuve just went off our screen. You can see how much space there is between the two of them. Michael is literally pulling away right now.
All right, most of the key pit stops have been completed, Gary Gerould.
Well, let's start with the Newman-Haas team. Boy, they were elated with the work that they did for Michael Andretti. They did it in 13.6 seconds, and as we had indicated, there was no change at all relating to the wicker bill, and we got a good look. There's a little bit of a dent in the upper part of the top rear wing, but there is no wicker bill there. Paul Tracy came in, severe handling problems. The car had been giving him just a handful, both going into and exiting the corners. They made a significant wing change at the front. Also, he had a close call with Carlos Guerrero coming into the pits, and he almost had contact with Teo Fabi leaving. One other footnote, Mauricio Guzman came in ahead of them. He stalled and lost about 8 extra seconds getting restarted. Now, let's check in with Jack.
Well, Gary, let's update you on Jacques Villeneuve. You know, he seemed to fade there, as Paul and you alluded to. Well, I checked with Barry Green, the crew chief on the car, and he said they banged wheels, he and Michael Andretti, and they're very, very concerned about having enough at the end of the race, so they're playing it very conservatively. In the meantime, let me show you what's come out onto pit road. We told you about Jimmy Vasser's concern. Well, here's how IndyCar will cooperate. They have brought out a brand new pop-off valve. If there's a full course yellow, look for Vasser and company to make the exchange.
Well, obviously, this is a moment where Villeneuve thinks about the championship, and he thinks to himself, Michael's getting away. I can consolidate second, or if need be, even third place. There's Ribeiro out of the car.
Had a fire on that car. Ribeiro, they suddenly started spraying the back of the car, and Ribeiro wasn't going to wait any time at all. He was out of there, and that's as Scott Goodyear, who's driving the team car. You can see him accelerated off, but quick work by the Tasman team got that fire out, and Ribeiro is safe.
Now, one of the things that happened today, it's really hot. Now, even though we say, well, it's 95 or 97 degrees, whatever it is right now outside, everything under the hood in the car is hot. When they come into the pit, the heat all soaks, because remember, the engine is all wrapped really tight in bodywork, and I mean really tight. So all that heat soaks in really fast. If there's a fuel leak of any type, boy, it just lets off.
You can see the solicitation of his crew for this young driver who is so popular. One of the most popular new drivers ever to come on the scene.
And incredibly quick. Good driver. Studied the law originally and came over to become a racing driver. I think racing is the better for it. Bobby Rahal now runs fourth place. That's DeFerrin just ahead in third. Rahal continuing to pursue points, and of course this would be a wonderful position to be in should anything happen to Villeneuve.
Now right there you saw Bobby Rahal go to the right. You saw also that he wasn't close enough to make that pass. What he's trying to do is DeFerrin watches him in his mirrors. He's faking it. He's getting him used to the fact that he may try to pass there, so as DeFerrin will drive into the turn deeper, make a mistake.
All right, the situation with Andre Ribeiro, Gary Gerould.
Well, a very frightening moment anytime you hear that word fire in the pits. Andre, what happened? And you're there in the hot seat.
Well, it was hot before already. It's very hot out there, but here get even hotter with the fire. But thanks God, nothing happened.
Do you have any idea how the fire was ignited, how it started?
No idea, no idea.
Well, we're happy that you're all right. Tough to be out of this one.
Thank you.
Andre Ribeiro seemed to be okay. Glad Gary got a chance to talk with him to confirm it for us, though. Back to that battle, DeFerrin, Rahal.
You see how close this battle has been and how much it has moved them up on Villeneuve, who was on the right of the screen there going down the back stretch. They are only a second or so back of him right now. There's Villeneuve going off the left of the screen, and with the intensity of this battle, they may draw even closer. But remember, Rahal has made very few on-the-track passes so far this year. It'll be interesting to see if he can put one on DeFerrin.
Gary Gerould?
Well, I think that situation for Bobby Rahal and his team down there was just worthy of great pit work, because it's our understanding they picked up 4 spots directly because of their efficiency in the pits. He is down at pit in. He's in the very first pit stall, but then you've got that 80-mile limit all the way up the hill along pit road. But nonetheless, he was able to beat 4 teams in the process.
Gary, we have that